Hey, Dr. Matt here. So, accumulate muscle. What do you think about that? Sounds like a good plan, right? If at the end of the year you have accumulated more muscle than you had at the beginning of this year, you should be proud of yourself. You will have done your body such an amazing service, a great service, something that the majority of the population is not doing. And if you're not thinking about it, if you're not consciously engaging in building muscle, you probably won't be. Muscle literally is like sweet music to our being. It is what keeps us rolling. Muscle. That's what we need to be looking at. Muscle. Most people are trying to lose weight, trying to fit into their jeans, trying to slim down, get back to the high school weight. Unfortunately, these ideas, these aspirations of kind of health, it's like a pseudo health, because none of these things have a health point that is improved in the end when we're thinking about losing. However, muscle building is essential, and it will literally cause you to gain health and vitality and vigor and make you more capable in life. The more muscle you have in your body, it is the number one biological marker of aging. So the more muscle you have on your being, the less likely you are to succumb to all manner of dysfunction, of infection, of cancer, of autoimmunity, the less likely you are. So we want to improve our capacity to do life by building muscle tissue. Stay with me here. It's a big deal. The one thing that we can be sure of, if we're building muscle, we are creating youthfulness. Essentially, if you have gained muscle over the past year, like I said, your likelihood of anything going wrong with your body is insanely lower. You are saying to yourself, body, I've accumulated health. I've essentially put a 100% stamp on that you are healthier now than you were the year before if you've gained muscle in the last year. Muscle, it's like an organ. It's an organ system that curbs inflammation in our body. And you've probably heard inflammation is this driver of dishealth. Not only that, but muscle creates like this sense of confidence, this sense of reward, and it pushes all the essentially opposite direction buttons that is disease and dysfunction. Say, for instance, you were diagnosed with cancer or an autoimmune condition. The number one thing I'd be thinking about is, how can I get as much strength on my body? How can I build strength training into my schedule to make this just a consistent part of my routine, of my get well, overcome this diagnosis routine? This is because those who are conditioned are associated with a significant decreased risk of death from all causes related to their cancer diagnosis, because as muscle mass goes down, inflammation goes up, and as inflammation goes up, muscle mass goes down. So given a cancer diagnosis, an autoimmune condition diagnosis, there's a bunch of inflammatory cytokines that are raging in the body when those things are at work, when those diseases are at work, and that is leading to more wasting of muscle tissue. And like I said, muscle is this big anti-inflammatory organ for our body. And so if we're wasting muscle, we are losing the capacity to have an anti-inflammatory response. And this, it's accelerated, it's compounded, this muscle wasting as we lose more muscle mass and as the condition and the treatments for that condition carry on. So if we want a positive cytokine anti-inflammatory response, we got to build muscle tissue. And this whole process, like I mentioned, it's compounding on itself. So without the intervention of strength training, strength training literally is like a medical intervention. If we don't perform this intervention, accompanied by whole nutrient-dense protein sources to maintain as much muscle as possible, then the likelihood of succumbing to our diagnosis is high. Even the Cancer Treatment Centers of America, just a standard allopathic treatment center, recognizes and publishes information on the value of muscle mass to support therapies and to support the longevity of cancer patients. In fact, those diagnosed with cancer are 89% more likely to succumb to their diagnosis if they have a low muscle mass, if they are in fact having sarcopenia, compared to people with that same diagnosis who have good muscle mass. So many patients will go into a cancer diagnosis with a moderate muscle mass and moderate strength or enough strength for their life, but then the diagnosis itself can bring on depression, anxiety, decreased motivation, and then the therapy itself, can drive people into a sedentary lifestyle because of the steroid use or the chemotherapies or the biologics being used and the side effects. And this just really creates a breeding ground for the very thing you're trying to get rid of, which is the cancer, right? And it sets you up, for massive sarcopenia, sarcopenia is basically the loss of muscle mass. It tends to be a marker of aging. The more sarcopenia happening, the more your body's aging. Whether your skin looks beautiful or not, you are aging at a really fast rate if you have muscle loss or muscle wasting. So nobody wants to get a cancer diagnosis. Of course not. But becoming that diagnosis, that's really what gets you in big trouble. When you become that diagnosis, that breeds, that anxiety, that depression, that, I have 6 months to live, those kind of ideas. And so if we can set our mind instead on getting stronger, getting fitter, building strength, building life capacity into our being, it is really challenging. It's extremely challenging for cancer to take a foothold in our life and start dragging us around, even if you've already been diagnosed. So 1/3 of cancer deaths are because of muscle loss. Isn't that crazy? Because of muscle wasting, 1/3 of cancer deaths. So muscle mass, it is a key indicator of your potential to survive, to thrive amongst any diagnosis, but especially autoimmune diagnoses and cancer diagnoses. So please take the opportunity, set your schedule up, let's get this going. And for those who are going through chemotherapy, the muscle tissue of your body is literally can act as a buffer to the toxicity that is chemotherapy. There's no way around it. Chemotherapy is going to be toxic for using it. And so if we have this buffer, then yes, it's going to be really challenging to take the energy, to put the energy into muscles, into strength training. But I can't stress enough the value here. And you want to talk to your oncologist, talk to your doctor, like, how can I make this happen? How can I preserve as much muscle mass as possible to help minimize the side effects of these treatments and to maximize my potential to completely overcome this condition? Muscle, it really is the enemy of aging, the enemy of disease and dysfunction. The more muscle you have on you, the longer you're going to live and the more capable you're going to live. Building muscle is fundamental to you living well without any restraints, without being put into a home, without having to have caregivers. Build muscle. I hope this is getting to you. So building muscle, it could be literally as simple as completing a movement that essentially is more challenging than just your daily life. Just applying a little bit of stress consistently to your muscle tissue will help build muscle tissue. So that could be you going for a brisk walk. That could be you, doing a set of push-ups against the wall or on your knees. That could be you getting up and out of your chair multiple times in a row. That could be you doing body weight squats, squats to a chair, walking up and down your stairs until your muscles start burning your legs. It could be just doing step-ups onto a stair. It doesn't have to be, getting gym membership or, outfitting your garage with the latest fitness gear. None of that is necessary. All that is necessary is that we stress our muscle tissue more than it's used to being stressed. So don't let any excuse get in the way of you experiencing the life you are capable of. All right? Because, you didn't. If you perform consistent strength training, you have a consistent strength training routine, you're going to live way, way better than you would have otherwise. And you're not going to wake up one day ticked off that you got stronger. I'm Dr. Matt, and I'm looking forward to hearing how you gain muscle this year as opposed to